Let me also give a shout out to Demetrius Shaw. Says, did you see the article that said Gen Z needed a half a million by 25 for retirement? I'm 19. I'm 19. How is that possible? Let's talk about that. Why not? Let's get into that for a little bit. First of all, before we get into it, let me make sure that I give an acknowledgement to Tej Henley. Tej Henley is a sponsor of the show. Thank you, Tej Henley, for sending that Tej pack. If you do not have your Tej pack, make sure that you tap in. Link is in the description. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. In addition to that, I have an interview dropping tonight. An interview is dropping tonight in the Patreon. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. In the Patreon specifically, we do big work. Big work. Let me turn my mic up a little bit. Make sure my mic is good. We do big work in the Patreon. So tap into the Discord, Patreon exclusive video, interview dropping tonight. It is going to be an interesting interview, and you are going to love it. I promise you. Dropping tonight. But shout out to my bag chasers, because the bag chasers are my family. They're the people that love me the most. I was having a conversation with somebody, and I'm trying to convince them to stay out of the hood. All right. And the interesting thing about it is that we were talking about family, and family for me is people that are closely in line with the direction that I'm going in. And so I was helping them to understand. I said, yo, my family is the people that has my same interests. We work together, we grind together, we spend the most time together. I don't understand how you guys use blood as family, but the people that you spend the most time around every day, you don't consider them family. Them is just associates. Those are just friends. But your family is somehow something that you can't control. It's almost like stand on code for the black community for me, but that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, my bag chasers is my family. They're the people that are going in the direction that I'm going in. They're the ones that have my best interests at heart. When I jump out of line, they say, Anton, hold on. And so I want to make sure that I give an update to the bag chasers. And I am going to probably strongly considering giving y'all the exact location of the meetup that we doing in December for New Year's in Miami. For the bag chasers exclusively. Anyway, so another thing that I'm struggling with before we get into this yay conversation, and I'm just tap into this really quickly. Another thing that I'm struggling with specifically is time. Corporate America. I'm back to not sleeping as much as I wanted to. I anticipated doing a all-nighter last night, just to be able to catch up on a lot of the different work that I do on a regular basis. You see my hands is a little ashy. You see the ash. All that means is that I've been chopping open boxes and, putting together chairs. And we got a small little tiny desk type of performance that we're going to be doing in the content creation space. But time, ladies and gentlemen, and the balance of time with money. And I think that the calendar is a big way in which we substantiate how it is that we utilize in our time. Understanding how much our time is worth, your amount that you make per year divided by 8,760, which is the amount of hours in a year. If you make $100,000 a year, then your time is probably worth somewhere around $11 an hour. It's just the truth. It's not anything that I can do about it. I didn't make up the formula. Actually, I did make up the formula, but I don't determine what the numbers are going to be. I plug the numbers into the formula. It is what it is. If you make $100,000 a year, your time is worth $11 an hour, because it's how much you make divided by 8,760, right? So let's just say hypothetically, and we extrapolate that out to being $1 million, right? Let's say you make $1 million a year. $1 million, right? On your corporate job, hypothetically. Not quite, but close to. And shout out to the Patreon members that have seen my W-2. And let's say you make close to $1 million a year on your corporate job, but you have no time to really nurture and cultivate the thing in the direction that you're actually going in. How do you determine when it is that you quit? How do you determine when you give up those golden handcuffs, right? Before we get into that, let me answer Demetrius's question. He said, did you see the article that said Gen Z needed a half a million by 25 for retirement? No, I didn't. But yes, I agree with it. And a lot of people are going to get mad at me because they're going to say, Anton, you're supposed to make $50,000 per year. And that's average and so on and so forth. What do you think is going to be average 30 years from now? Let's break this down. What do you think is going to be average 30 years from now, right? And the reason why I say that is because inflation, the cost of a movie ticket 30 years ago is completely different than the cost of a movie ticket today. The cost of a car, the average price of a vehicle is somewhere like $40,000, $50,000. Do you know back in the 80s you could have bought a car for like $2,000, $3,000 brand new off the lot? And so when we're talking about retirement, we're talking about our future state. Specifically, we're highlighting the importance of accounting for what the cost of living is going to be like, not today, not what people make today, not what the average is today, but based off of two things. What do you want your lifestyle to be like? And how much is it going to cost you to exist in a world that we know not of, and we don't even understand what it's going to look like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, right? And a lot of people are not taking that into consideration. They ball today, they YOLO, they living like Lil Wayne and Drake, they doing what they want to do on a regular basis, but a lot of people are not taking that into consideration. And so one of the reasons why this article, which I didn't read, is pushing you to put as much up as you can is because we think based off of the reverse, but the opposite is actually true. Let me explain it to you, right? I'm going to break it down. See students' perspective. A lot of people believe that your 20s is going to be the best years of your life. And I'm here to tell you that they're wrong. A lot of people believe that your 20s are going to be the best years of your life. Shout out to Corey Houston. Said looking forward to the meetup location. Shout out to you on Cash App. A lot of people think that your 20s are going to be the best years of your life. They're wrong. They're absolutely, positively wrong. The best years of your life is when you continue to get older. And the reason why people believe that the best years of your life is in your 20s is because that's the time that they were at their peak earnings. They had the most fun. A lot of people go back into their high school years. When you go to look at all of these geezers and they'll be like, yeah, remember when we was 20 years old and we was driving in the best car that we ever had in our life? Is because what you do now in your 20s and your 30s is going to exponentially multiply by the time that you get 40, 50, 60, 70. So if you stack now, and the best time to put money into your retirement is as early as possible, meaning it's the same thing that I tell you on the Patreon. It's the same thing that I tell you on the show. Stay down for 10 years, and then the money literally works for itself and continue to multiply exponentially for the rest of your life. However, if you decide to put that up, to stand back, to chill, you want to do the thing that's the worst for you. You don't want to focus on your career when you're 20s. You want to sit out here and have a hot girl summer. You want to sit out here and bust these chicks down for the streets. What happens is as you get older, things become exponentially more pronounced. You get poorer, you fall further behind. You don't do the thing that's in your best interest. You become more hardened with what it is that you're used to. You continue to go back to the hood. You continue to hang with the same people that's not adding value into your life. And you spend the majority of your time wasting away and then hoping and trying to catch up and chase instead of sitting back, enjoying, and understanding that your money working for you so that you can then live the life that you want to live for the rest of your life. And so when they pushing you and they say, yo, put that $500,000 up, they talking about an anticipation of possibly spending $5 million when you retire, right? That carrying you for the rest of your life. You having to live off of the interest that you make on the money instead of living on a principal and having to draw that down. And so they're inspiring you to do the thing that's the best for you. And that does not only include money. It means getting rid of your bad friends, leaving that hoe alone, doing the thing that's best for you as far as making sure that you invest in your retirement and stacking up and buying assets instead of buying Balenciagas for the hoes. That way, when you get my age at 40, you can do the thing that you want to do when you want to do it. If you decide that you want to build a content creation space, you can do that. If you decide that you want to buy a bunch of cameras and throw a bunch of parties every day and you want to fly first class every single weekend, you can do that. You don't have to live off of the same type of budget as everybody else, but nobody wants to make a sacrifice now because they so busy focusing on what Instagram is talking about or what everybody else is doing on the internet. Before I started spending money, I started staying down and making the informed decisions. And even now, Do you know that my 401k, or actually my Roth 401k for the year, has already been fully funded this entire year? My Roth 401k is already, I already put 20 bands, $20,500 up for my Roth 401k just because I got that corporate job. It's already done. It's already funded for the entire year. Every single year, we're going to put up $20,500 just because I'm in corporate America. That ain't got nothing to do with the assets. That ain't got nothing to do with the real estate. That don't have nothing to do with the businesses. None of that. So then I can do what I want to do because I already have a path to success, and I've already spoken with my advisors, right, for the company that I invest with, as far as who's managing my resources, to determine, hey, where do I want to be? Do I want to have more tolerance, less tolerance, so on and so forth? So, Demetrius, you're saying, how can you do it? I'm saying, don't focus on how you can do it. Focus on the percentages that I did in the video for the Patreon. This is how much you're supposed to pay yourself every single month. Be consistent with it, and then focus on continuing to do the thing that's in your best interest as far as investing in you. Go to the right careers. Make sure that you're buying assets. Don't worry about spending a whole lot of money on no wedding. Forget her wedding ring. Upgrade her every 5 years instead of going all the way in on the first time. Stop finding yourself doing Afterpay and Affirm and PayPal and all of these payments that you got to make. Make sure you keep the interest rate down on your car. Matter of fact, don't even buy a new car. Just chill out. Roll out with the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 joint that you got right now. Listen, if you couldn't pull that chick with the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 joint, then you don't need to be rocking with her anyway. Because listen, you have to have that game. You got to make sure that you're doing the thing that's in your best interest, not doing things for other people that don't care nothing about you. I promise you, you're not even going to remember that chick after you bust her down 2 weeks from now, let alone 2 years from now, let alone 20 years from now. Make the decision, that thing that you can do what you want to do when you want to do it in the future. And then you can still have fun now. That don't mean that you can't go out and do road trips, and you can go to the bar and sip on a Diet Coke and not spend $150, $200, $300 on drinks. You can go and chill and spend, $5, $6, $7 on a drink and chill and have a good time and dance with everybody else. Get outside, have fun, go hiking, meet people you never meet before, go to the bar, go to the restaurant and sit at the bar instead of sitting in the booth, and have a good time. You will thank me later.